Hey guys, today's video is going to be a collective book haul from, I guess it's been the past couple of months. I haven't done a book haul in a while, so I thought I would show you guys the books that I've purchased over the past few months. And normally I don't like watching these types of book hauls because I feel like they're not the most current, but a lot of these I've kind of acquired recently, and then some of them I've read, but for the most part I probably haven't read most of these, so I thought it would still be kind of relevant, and I know that everyone likes book hauls, so I wanted to show you guys. So there are a lot of books. I don't know how many there are, but I will try my best to get through them really quickly. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. The first thing I have is a box set, and I have shown this before, and I've already read the first book, but I did pick up the Divergent box set a couple months ago. I wanted to read Divergent before the movie came out, and I did see the movie finally, and I absolutely loved it. So I was a huge fan of both the book and the movie, and I have yet to read Insurgent or Allegiant, but I hope to do that this summer. I've been kind of dreading those, honestly, because I was spoiled for the last one, and I've heard that Insurgent's not as good as Divergent, so I've kind of pushed those off, but I was really excited to get the box set and to have them. The next one I have is Burn for Burn by Jenny Han, and I think it's Siobhan Vivian. I'm not really sure how you pronounce this. I've seen some people talk about this recently because this was the Chicklets book for last month, I believe, and I picked this up from Books A Million. I actually found it in the bargain section for $3, which is why I picked it up, because I've heard that it's really good. So if you've read this, let me know what your thoughts are, but I have yet to read it, but I'm really excited to. I also picked up Walking Disaster by Jamie McGuire, which is beautiful disaster told from Travis's perspective. I read this one a few months ago, so I've had this one for a little longer, but I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was just as good as the first one. Okay, I have Crash Into You by Katie McGarry, and I purchased this from Kroger. To be honest, Kroger actually has a pretty decent book section, and they get the most kind of recent popular new release books, and I found this one. It was like $10 or $11, and so I thought I'll pick that up. I've heard that these books are really good, and then I realized that this is the third one in the series, and so I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and read it because each of them are different. They're not really a series. It's kind of like separate stories, almost like Anna and the French Kiss. But then I was watching Cassidy at Cassidy Von Shea, and she was saying that she would recommend reading them from the very beginning to the end just because some of the characters reappear or something. And so I have not read this yet because I need to get Pushing the Limits in Dare to You, or I think that's the second one, but I'm really excited for these. I've heard that Katie McGarry is a really awesome author and that these are really good, and they're the ones that have the really kind of interesting covers that match the front, which I think is really unique because most books don't have that. So I did pick this one up. The next one you've probably seen if you follow me on Instagram, because I did Instagram a picture of this, and I've probably Instagrammed a lot of the others too. So if you want to see more pictures of books and things in my life, then you can follow me on Instagram at TheBookDiary. But this one I found at a used bookstore in my town, and this has been a book that's been on my to be read list for a while, but it's not one that's like a top priority. So when I saw it, I had to get it because it was hardcover, and the cover itself was really cool, and it was only $5. So I did pick up Thou Shalt Not Road Trip by Anthony John, which I've heard somebody talk about before, and I cannot remember who it was. I think maybe it was Jessie the Reader, but I don't know for sure. That might be completely wrong, but I know I've seen somebody mention this before, and it was always a book that interested me, so I was really excited to find this one. Next, we have what might be the most gorgeous release of this spring, and that is To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I have been so excited for the release of this book for months because it is the most gorgeous cover. I love the font. I love the cover. It's so much prettier in person than it is on camera and on like picture, but it's just stunning, and it has a bright pink book that is underneath the dust jacket. The font's on the spine, and I just love it. I have not read this one yet, but I've heard that it's so cute, and most people have seemed to really love this one, so I hope to read this one soon. It was actually in my May wrap-up, or May TBR, April wrap-up video, where I talked a little bit more about this. But if you have read this one and you've kind of checked it out, I guess is the word for the spring, let me know what you thought, because I will do a book review on this one once I read it, but I want to know if you guys liked it or not, because I think it has gotten a lot of hype but you just never know, do you? You just never know. The next two I have are both like companion stories or companion like short books that go with the series. So the first one is the Selection Stories by Kara Cass, which of course goes with the Selection trilogy. And then the next one I bought, I cannot believe I never owned before this, but I just decided to buy it, and that is the Tales of the Beetle and the Bard by J.K. Rowling, which goes with the Harry Potter series. I never bought this one. I don't know why, I just never picked it up. And since I have been rereading the series, I know that once the 7th one comes around that they talk about the Tales of the Beetle and the Bard, and I thought it would be really good to have it and to read through. So once I get to that one, I will read this one, but I just am super excited to have it because it goes with my copies, and I'm a huge Harry Potter fan for life. The next one I have, I also found at the bargain book section at Books A Million, which is a really great place to look for books. They always have like the most random selection, and you'll always find like the first, second, or third of a series, but never any of the other ones. But I had to get this one because I plan on reading this one day, and this one was literally $5.97, and this book is like $18 normally, and that is Days of Blood and Starlight by Laini Taylor, which is the second book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. And I haven't been, you know, super like prioritized on reading this one next because I've heard it's a very interesting world that you kind of have to get into, and some people don't like it. But I saw it for $6 and I knew I would not find it for that cheap probably anywhere else. So I had to get it. If you're wanting this book in hardcover, check Books A Million because that's an awesome deal. I know they even have them online, and I was kind of bummed because on the website they have the first one too in hardcover for $6, but I could not find it in my Books A Million store, and I didn't want to order and pay shipping for it. So I really want to get that one, but I haven't had a chance to. So if you want those and you have free shipping for whatever reason, if you're a card holder on Books A Million, I know you can order them and get free shipping, and I think that $6 for these is an awesome deal, especially because the final one just came out. This next book is a little bit closer to my heart because this one's a little bit more of a touching story, and ever since I knew that this was going to be released as a book, I knew I wanted to get it, and it actually came out in November of last year, and I never got my hands on it. I just never picked it up, and I found it in Target one day a couple months ago, and I had to get it because I love this person and I just really wanted to read this, and that is When Will the Heaven Begin by Allie Breedlove. This book is about Ben Breedlove. If you guys are not familiar with him, I feel like I've talked about this in another video, but Ben used to make YouTube videos. He was really good friends with Megan Parkin, who makes beauty videos here on YouTube as Megan Hearts Makeup. I'm sure a lot of you that watch beauty videos know who she is, but he used to make videos with her and her ex-boyfriend, and I loved watching them. And then in 2011 Ben passed away, and he had a heart condition, and it was really traumatic and really tragic, and such a sad event that happened. And what's really crazy though, and also really cool about the story, is that a week before he passed away, he uploaded these 2 videos on YouTube where he talked about his condition and all of this stuff, and he talked about God and religion and something that happened to him, and nobody knew about these videos until after he died. They found them, and he literally uploaded them a week before. He didn't tell anybody he was doing it, nobody knew, and then he died, and it is the craziest thing. So cool, so inspirational, especially if you're a religious person, which I am. They're really awesome. So I highly recommend you guys to check those out. If you haven't, I will link them below. But his sister wrote a book about him and more about just his life and all of that, and I really wanted to read this, so I have not yet, but I will do it soon. If you guys want to see some more pictures of him, there are some pictures in this book too. So I am so excited to read this. I was just so inspired by him and his story, and it was definitely something that was really tragic, but I think that he left a really great message as well. A more positive note that is not as sad is We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. This is the 3rd book in the Summer trilogy, or the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy. I've already read this book a long time ago, and I actually already have the first 2 that I scored at the bargain section of Books A Million back in the winter time, and then I didn't have this one and it was on the bargain section for $5, so I picked this one up the other day just to have because I wanted to complete the series. So I know a lot of people have been talking about this series recently and have been reading it. I have already read it probably like a year or two ago. I even own the copies on my phone as an iBook, but I wanted to have the physical copy. Next book I have, I was sent for a review as an ARC book, and I just did a review on this, which should be up now, and that is for Breakable by Tamara Weber, which I loved. I am a huge fan of Tamara. I loved the first one called Easy, so I did receive this back in April, and I did read it in April, and I loved it. So if you want to know more about this, I do have a book review up, which will be linked below, but this one was one that I did get rather recently, and then I have 3 more. So the first one here is the first in a series, and that is Hex Hall by Rachel Hawkins, which I was sent by my friend Eileen here on YouTube, who is Eileen Reads I Want a Giveaway, where she was giving this away, and I absolutely love her. She is one of my closest booktube friends, if you will. I kind of consider her like my redhead sister companion. Like, she could be like my little redhead sister because she's a redhead like me, and I love her. She's so funny, and she has really good taste in books. So if you guys have not watched Eileen, I will link her below because she is great and I love her. And so, inspired by Hex Hall, which I finished last night, today I picked up Demon Glass, which is the second one in the Hex Hall trilogy, which I will be starting very soon, and that was the kind of motivation for this book haul today, because I got that one and I thought I'll do a book haul. I got one more book today, which is completely random. This is not like a novel or like a, you know, a fictional book, but this is kind of one of those like tongue twister, like quiz type of books. Not really tongue twister, but kind of like one of those quizzing kind of knowledge books. And I Instagrammed this tonight, so you probably saw this if you're on my Instagram, but I picked up On the Tip of My Tongue by David Gentle, which is like a bunch of quizzes and like pop culture information and questions, and it's just one of those knowledge kind of things where it has, you know, different miscellaneous questions that you should answer and different facts, and then all of the solutions are in the back. And I actually was playing around with this tonight and quizzing a bunch of my family, like my sister and my parents, and this is really cool. I really liked this, and I scored this on the bargain section too for $5 at Books A Million. So if you're interested in this kind of thing, more like knowledge and kind of like just like brain teasers, this is really cool. I was really impressed, and I think this is neat to just kind of learn new stuff. I hope that you guys enjoyed this and that you're having an awesome day. Feel free to share with me some of your recent purchases or what you're currently reading, because I am planning on buying a book soon. I know that this is like our collective haul, but I really haven't ordered or bought a lot of books recently. A lot of these I've had for a while. And there are quite a few on my list that I want to get for summer. So if you have any recommendations, let me know, because I'm always looking to read awesome books, and I love to hear what you guys have. You guys have the best recommendations and stuff like that. So that is all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.